All right, so it's thundering outside as I record, which is pretty fitting for the Yankee mood. Episode 537, let's talk New York Yankees. We got some things to say. This, I do say this a lot, but hopefully I can make this a shorter episode. We went an hour and a half the last show. We had Greg on from Yankee Crazy Podcast. Great show. Go tune into that. But I really want to make this short because I've got work in the morning. It is a Sunday night, Sunday, July 2nd. Happy 4th weekend. As I record. So, I've got work tomorrow and I want to get this out and uploaded ASAP. So, plus I don't really want to talk about this Yankees team. That's basically the main reason here that we're going to try to make this. Let's shoot for 30 minutes tops, but we'll see how long this goes. I'm already rambling here, so let's get into it. Cue the intro. Episode 537 of the podcast. Welcome to BD4. Let's do it. Welcome to BD4, an RJ Carbone podcast. BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. BD4 is a 5-star show on Apple Podcasts, also available in video format on YouTube and Spotify. So thanks for stopping by, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Champion of the world, turning, looking, see ya! Anthony for three, bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied!
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win!
All right. Welcome back to the show, episode 537 of the podcast. The Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to the St. Louis Cardinals to finish up a road trip where overall against Oakland and St. Louis, they had a 3-3 trip. So the Yankees had a road trip with golden opportunities to come closer to Baltimore in the standings, with 2 last-place teams coming up. One of them arguably a double-A team, and the other one a team that's just been a disaster and underachieving mightily. And I believe last episode I asked the Yankees, I set a goal. I said I want them to go 5-1. I said, against these 2 terrible teams, 5-1 should be the goal. And I didn't say this part out loud, but I was thinking it in my mind. I said, to myself, 4-2, I would have talked myself into. But 5-1 was what you really needed to do against St. Louis and Oakland. However, I'll say it one more time. The Yankees, they went 3-3. And I'm kind of just tired of that. I'm kind of just tired of the hovering around 500, get by garbage. To me, that's nonsense. That's a loser mentality for mediocre teams with mediocre goals. But this team's goal is to win a title. At no point should any of their short-term goals be to tread fucking water. So I just get tired of that. We're going to recap the series. Got a few talking points to get into. Again, I want to try to make this short. So let's get into the show. Let's get right to game 1. Game 1 of this Feeble road trip, this ugly series, not road trip, this was the second set of the road trip. I was reading the title of the episode there. But game 1 of the Cardinals series, the Yankees lost 11-4. This was the first game of the doubleheader because it got pushed back to Saturday. It was Severino versus Flaherty. The Yanks first threatened in the third when they put 2 on base, but they stranded them both. They end up scoring a run, but it was well over by then. They scored 4 runs, but it was well over by the time they scored a run. Because Severino was absolutely awful from the get-go. And it was just also another game where the Yankee defense kicked and threw the ball all around the diamond. I can't speak tonight. But, that's just an everyday thing for this team. We speak about their lack of fundamentals way too consistently. And Severino, I mean, maybe we'll touch on him later, but bad. And he continues to be very bad. The game was delayed for a while, and then it was resumed a couple hours later. I don't know why they even did it. They came back. The Yankees scored some more. Donaldson pitched. They had the time of their lives in the dugout again because, being blown out is very fun. That will never not bother me. It happens too often when position players pitch for the Yankees and at the same time they're having a grand old time in the dugout. That really irks me. And so the Yankees lose 11-4 in the first game. The second game of the doubleheader, the Yankees actually won this one, 6-2. The Yankees did the bullpen gimmick. Hamilton, Marinaccio, King, Peralta, Canely, Holmes. That was the order. Each team scored early in this game. Bader had a sac fly in the top of the first after the Yankees loaded the bases with 3 singles. And then Nootbaar slaps a solo shot in the bottom of the first. Top of the second, Anthony Volpe's RBI triple up against the wall, and then the DJ sac fly, that put the Yankees ahead 3-1. In the third inning, the Cardinals make it tight with the Jordan Walker double. It stayed 3-2 all the way up until the top of the ninth inning when the Yankees just broke it open. You had a 1-out walk from IKF, the Volpe single. Then you saw the Yankees execute a squeeze play with Trevino bunting and IKF coming home. That put them ahead 4-2 after the challenge was upheld. Then DJ LeMahieu walks, and then Gleyber drives Trevino home with the bases loaded single to make it 6 runs. The Yankees win 6-2. So 6 runs on 10 hits, a double, a triple, 8 singles, 3 walks, only 4 Ks. That was a good offensive line from them. 2 of 8 in scoring position, but IKF had 3 hits to lead the way in this game. Gleyber with 2 RBIs to lead the way there. And then your 2 extra base hits. You got a double from Trevino. And again, the triple from Anthony Volpe. On the mound, Hamilton was not great as the opener. Allowed a run in an inning. Marinaccio wasn't great either. King was phenomenal. 3 1/3. Peralta was great after a walk. Tommy Canely continues to be perfect. Holmes was good. It's annoying having this being a bullpen game. I know they won this game, but I don't know. Be the Yankees. Don't act broke. I hate when they do the bullpen shit. Call up Randy Vasquez. I liked what I saw from him. But they won. So I won't complain, I guess. Game 3, the Yankees lose today, Sunday, 5-1. Gerrit Cole against former Yankee Jordan Montgomery. And in the bottom of the 4th, the Cardinals put 2 on the board against Cole. Top of the 6th, the Yankees finally break up what was a no-hitter for Jordan Montgomery. He had a Gleyber-Torres double. Did not score, of course. But the top of the 7th comes, the Yankees finally score to cut the deficit in half when Jake Bauers doubles in a run. It's 2-1 St. Louis. But in the bottom of the 7th and in the bottom of the 8th, Jimmy Cordero comes into the game and implodes completely. He issues 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th and then 1 more in the 8th. And all of a sudden, the Yanks go down 5-1, and they don't come back from it and lose. 3 hits and a run. Really? 3 hits and a run. Stanton still not hitting. He had another golden opportunity to show up in a big spot in this game. I think it was in the 8th inning. He did not come through. He also just missed a home run in the 1st inning. Doesn't count. Gerrit Cole was not good. He labored a ton of deep counts, foul balls. He couldn't finish off batters. A lot of traffic on the bases, hits, hit batters, walks. But it should have been enough. 6 innings, 2 runs at the end of the day. That's considered, mediocre for Cole. But the offense was, I would have prayed for mediocre offense. The offense was abysmal. The lineup didn't get the job done. I also did not like some of the decision-making in this game. Now, Aaron Boone was ejected early, so it wasn't him. But, pinch hitting Billy McKinney late in the game there and not Anthony Rizzo. That bothered me. Rizzo is one of your top hitters. McKinney has came back down to earth. Why are we bunting with Anthony Volpe there? Volpe's been your hottest hitter. I don't know what we were doing there, or whoever's decision that was. And I know that Gerrit Cole labored, but why is he being pulled at 98 pitches after 6th? And why are you going to Jimmy Cordero if you're going to pull Cole with a pretty rested bullpen? So those were just a few nitpicks. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to get on the Yankees too much for it. I will say I'm kind of tired of seeing Boone bitch and moan to the umps and getting tossed all the time. Like, it's getting a little old. Like, at this point, it's becoming a little Karen-y. Like, just deal with it. Missed calls are going to happen. I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm a huge MMA fan. I've been a huge football fan before. People bitch and moan about judges, referees, whatever, all the fucking time. Like, it's the worst in that sport. But I'm guaranteeing you, like, baseball fans think umpires are the biggest problem ever. MMA fans think judges are the biggest problem ever. Basketball fans think referees are the biggest problem. I promise you, that's just how it works. We all think it's the worst because we're all stuck in this little universe of art. It's you have to deal with it. I'm sorry, Aaron Boone. You have to deal with it. Maybe sometimes, Aaron, if you want to get some anger out, sometimes let the anger out on your players who aren't cutting it for you. When they make mental mistakes on the bases or in the field. Maybe air into them a little bit. That's where your anger should be directed towards sometimes. Instead of patting them on the back, spanking their ass and telling them how great of a job they're doing being 6 games above 700 and in 3rd place. Maybe that's where your anger should be directed. Anyways, that's it for the series. That'll wrap up this 3-game set. The Yankees lost 2 out of 3. A few talking points, and we'll get to one of them when we return from break. I guess we'll talk a little bit about this one, Luis Severino, as soon as we return from break. Stay with us. Be right back in about 15 seconds.
We appreciate you sticking around and listening so far. When you have a chance, be sure to open YouTube to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you're already watching on YouTube, be sure to head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We appreciate your feedback and are always looking to improve. Now, with that all said, let's get you back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to episode 537 of BD4. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Luis Severino, am I concerned? Yes. His ERA, I think it's over 6 since returning. He's letting up a bunch of home runs, a lot of hard hits. The velocity's been inconsistent. The location has been off. The body language doesn't seem to be there. You can tell when he has that swagger going because he's doing that strut around the mound. He's working quick, you know. He's pumping his fist into his glove. I'm not seeing that. I don't know what's going on. Is it mechanical? That's an idea that Yes Network has floated around lately. I don't know. They say he's healthy. The Yankees say he's healthy. Severino says he's healthy. I kind of wish he wasn't because I'm starting to think if it's not a health thing, is he just cooked? Is he finished? Have all the injuries finally caught up to him and it's just taking a toll on him? Because again, the velocity in this start was down again. The location was poor. Maybe he's just not saying anything. Maybe he is hurt because he's in a contract year. He doesn't want to ruin any chance at big money or, you know, he's not going to get a ton anyway, but he doesn't want to further harm those odds. But he's only hurting himself at this point. And so I'm kind of done with him. Like, Rodon's an important piece of this rotation. He's coming back, Rodon. He's scheduled to pitch Friday, July 2nd, or July 7th. Friday, this week, against the Cubs. So Rodon comes back. I guess he's taking the fifth spot because we haven't been using a number 5 really. But like, if Nestor comes back later this month or August, whenever the fuck he's supposed to come back, not that I'm excited for him because I think he's kind of done too. But like, Severino should be in the bullpen. I'm sorry, like he doesn't deserve to be on here more than Clark. Clark's been better. Domingo Germán's been better. Severino has been awful. Maybe they should just use him in the pen and then trade him at the deadline. Trade him at the deadline. Trade him for a bat, a left fielder, a third baseman. I don't know. A starting pitching swap. I'm ready to move on from him. You're better off getting something from him than just losing him for nothing because he's not, the Yankees aren't bringing him back, obviously. So why not just get, even if it's a potato chip. I like Lay's. I like Fritos. Get that. But I'm done with Severino. Yeah, it's just there's no positivity with Luis. Like there's no I can't be optimistic with what I'm seeing from Luis. I'm getting a little sick and tired on the next subject here of having old, slow, and unproductive players. It seems to be the mold of this team every year. And the funny thing is the Yankees, like, they acknowledge that they want to be faster and they want to run more and be younger and more athletic after getting swept by Houston last year. They acknowledge that in the winter. Like, where is it, though? We know you called up Volpe, but, like, you're still very old, slow, big, and unproductive. Like, a lot of guys on this team fit that. Giancarlo Stanton fits that. Giancarlo Stanton has been trending downwards, and I'm starting to think he's washed up. He batted .211 last year. He's 33 years old. His body's breaking down. He can't run. He can't field. He moves very awkwardly, like he's on stilts. And he hasn't had a season where he's played 140-plus games since 2018. The most frustrating problem with this Yankees team is how long they stick with guys before making a change, right? Almost to a point where they ignore trajectory. I heard that point made on a podcast, and I thought that was perfectly said. The Yankees ignore trajectory. Like, DJ LeMahieu is going on 3 consecutive seasons now where he hasn't had an OPS above 750. 2020 was DJ LeMahieu's last good season, and that was the fake year with COVID. He's also getting up there in age, and his body's breaking down. You can see it. He's visibly slow. There's no foot speed there. The bat speed is gone. He's not looking powerful in the box. He's not compact up there. He's moving, a lot of moving parts. He doesn't look the same. He's striking out at an alarming rate. Josh Donaldson, talking about ignoring trajectory. He hasn't had an OPS above 750 since 2021 when he was with Minnesota. He's up there in age. His body's breaking down. You can see the age in him because of his terrible reaction timing. Why do you think he's taken so many fastballs down the plate as a Yankee? Because he doesn't have the quickness to react to that anymore. So they know, the Yankees know this, but they're trying to squeeze every last bit because some of these guys are on big contracts. But they did zero to address it in the winter. And right now, with Oswald Peraza stashed in AAA, they're doing nothing to address it right now. Simply put, clear cut, the best players should be on the depth chart. That's it. Bottom line. It's July 2nd. The Yankees are barely holding on to a playoff spot at the moment. They are barely over 500, which is not a good record itself. Make a change. Bite the bullet, eat some money, use up options, risk tanking trade value. I don't care. Take these risks. because I just cannot do this anymore with guys like this. I just can't keep sitting through Donaldson at-bats and LeMahieu at-bats and Stanton at-bats, watching the slow bat speed with some of these guys, watching them strike out and flail at sliders low and away in the other batter's box. I just can't watch them struggle to run down the line to first base and not even be halfway down the line before the ball is in the first baseman's glove. I can't keep doing that. I can't. I just can't watch it anymore. Peraza's got speed. He's got defense, and he's got a decent hit tool. Give him a shot. Every time I hear about the kid, he's homering or he's having a big night down there. I think he's batting 280 right now. I don't care. Bring him up. I don't care if he struggles, because anybody can bat 130 in baseball. Josh Donaldson's batting 130. Anybody can do that. I can. You can. Your autistic neighbor can. Anybody can bat 130. That's not a standard. Nobody's ever gotten to a point where we've had to discuss a 130 hitter until the 2023 Yankees, because they have such an odd philosophy. A very odd philosophy. And I want to talk about this philosophy when we return from break. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on BD4.
You can also find us on social media. If you'd like, you can follow BD4 on Facebook, and we're at BD4Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. We appreciate you helping us grow more and more every day. Let's get back to it.
All right, welcome back to the show. You are listening to episode 537 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Thank you for stopping by. Sorry, I'm just setting this up here on my notes. Lost my track. Yeah, let's talk about the Yankees' hitting philosophy. We discuss it all the time, but the way the Yankees go about hitting kills me. So I know I'm repetitive with this, but it's my job as a content creator to talk about the team, and when the team's issue is the same issue every single time we talk, it's their fault. You know, the principles they preach: exit velocity, launch angle, expected batting average. They don't believe in batting average, though. Ironic. 3 true outcome. It's all that garbage. I know I sound old, but all that is exactly what makes this team an early exit every October. They don't care about hits and volume. Like, they don't care about hits. They care about on base and walks. If your on base percentage is high, but it's mainly walks, it's just as good as having a high on base percentage because of hits to them. That's where it's flawed to me. Because hitting matters. Like, I'm so tired of having and they're not, and by the way, they're not even walking this year. Their on base percentage is low. That's usually a thing they thrive in because they at least walk. But they're not doing shit. I'm so tired of these nights where the Yankees rack up 3 hits, 2 hits, 4 hits. I mean, how often do we got to sit through that? It's so boring. It's unacceptable for a big league offense to expect to win a championship. But they're out there picking up 3 hits on the nightly. And again, it's not going to change because the Yankees don't believe in batting average. And Boone sits there every night telling you how much he loves their at-bats. So that's not changing there. The hitting coach sucks. Took Austin Wells to tweak Volpe's mechanics. But it's also beyond the hitting coach. It's a fundamentally flawed philosophy they carry. That 2009 Yankees team, they won the World Series. Why? Because yes, they had power. Yes, they pitched. But on top of that, they worked at bats 1 to 9 in the order. They walked and they hit the single, they hit the double, they hit the triple. Don't believe me? Look them up. How many guys on that team batted below 270? My goodness. And I know it was a different time then. But relative to the rest of the league, the Yankees are still bottom of the barrel today. And I know in the postseason offense, it's natural that it drops off, but the Yankees still in the postseason are low tier. And for what they spend on their lineup, they should be top 3 among those teams in the playoffs every year. But they seem to not be able to put together a team who can stay hot offensively in the playoffs. And I think it's just caught up to them because their offense has not been getting the job done. They've not been cutting it this year. They're low. They're in the bottom third in so many categories. They peak out in like at 15th in runs. They're not doing the job. Even with Aaron Judge, their offense wasn't great this year. He masked a lot of it. That's all he did. It was put the rest of it in disguise. So, I don't know. I'm not feeling great. And like these trade rumors I keep hearing, Cody Bellinger isn't saving the Yankees. Neither is Lars Nootbaar or any other bargain bin player or has been or above average player. Nootbaar is good. Bellinger's okay. But they're not saving the Yankees. They're very similar moves to what Cashman has done in the past, right? They're not big moves. The only trade that could make significant damage and big-time change is like Juan Soto, because that's a game changer. But yes, we all know that's not going to happen. Hal does not do that. He's worried about blowing past the tax, so he's not going to do that. As if the $7 billion Yankees can't afford a Juan Soto to another 10-year deal. They can afford it, honestly. People think they're crazy, but they can afford it. They're the Yankees. They're not going to go broke. The amount of money they're going to make from these jerseys, sales and revenue and ticket sales, like they'd make billions. But they're not going to do it because Hal's worried about the lug stack. So there's not going to be a significant change. I don't see it. I don't see reason for optimism. If you want to talk optimism, we'll hand out our cap tips. We'll do that when we return from break. Stay with us. Be right back in a few seconds.
If you have time in the day or maybe just prefer old-fashioned reading over listening, then you can always follow along and subscribe to BD4 Blog by going to BD4blog.com. We're not on there as often, but when we do post, it's just as entertaining, opinionated, and passionate as we are on this podcast. Thank you so much. And let's keep on with the show.
Welcome back to the team. What the fuck was that? What? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Some positives is that Anthony Volpe has been hitting well for a bit now. So I'm going to tip my cap to Anthony Volpe this series. Anthony Volpe against the Cardinals this series was 5 for 11, 455. A triple, an RBI, 3 runs scored. He had a good series, man. And his average is over 220 now on the year. Again, I'm going to sound very repetitive here, but he has, since the whole chicken parm Austin Wells thing, since the batting stance tweak, he's hit. Before that, he couldn't get to that outside pitch, right? Because he was opening up early. The front foot was going towards the third baseline. So what did he do? He moved his front foot closer to home plate, closed it off, and now we're seeing the results. In the last 17 games, that's since the Citi Field series, Anthony Volpe's batting over 370 with an OPS over 1,000. He's also on a hit streak of 7 games right now. He just snapped a multi-hit game streak of 5 games. So he's been on one. And again, he's been using the opposite field a whole lot, a ton, countless amounts of times lately. So it's good to see. This is the player I'm hoping to continue to see from Volpe from here on out. A guy who uses all fields, makes consistent contact, someone who's really driving the baseball of late. Hitting the ball at a high clip, working good counts, solid at-bats, and getting on base. And by the way, something that's not been talked about enough from Volpe this year that you have to respect the shit out of is Volpe has appeared in all 84 games this season for the Yankees. You really need to take time to respect that if you haven't yet. Like in an era, especially on this team, where we're so focused on load management and sitting guys because the science says and studies say that they're better off that way, which I don't believe. Anthony Volpe has played in every single game. He's appeared in every single game. That's impressive. This is the starting shortstop for the Yankees. That's one thing that you can compare him to Jeter with right now. He's not missing games. So good for the kid. So Anthony Volpe, I'm tipping my cap to Anthony Volpe. That's his fourth this year. It's the fourth time we're tipping our caps to him. Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole, by process of elimination, is getting my tip of the cap. I mean, he went 6 innings, 2 runs. It's fine for him. It's not that great, but I couldn't give it to Severino. That's for sure. Now, obviously, we're not going to give it to anybody in Game 2 because there was no starting pitcher in Game 2. So, by process of elimination, I'm tipping my cap to Gerrit Cole. He now has 9 this season. We've tipped our cap to Cole 9 times this year. He's had a good year. He's 8-2. He did take the loss today. ERA is 2.79, I think. Yeah, 2.79 on the season. Don't like that whip. 114. Would like for him to walk less batters. But Cole has had a good year. I can't complain. It's the bats that haven't showed up lately. And then lastly, we're going to tip our cap to Michael King in the bullpen. Yeah, Mike King. He pitched in the on one of the games on Saturday. I forget what game. He won 3 1/3. 3 1/3 innings, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, just the single there. Did an excellent job. He was excellent. That's his role to a team, man. Kay and Nelson were bringing up how the Yankees don't really have a long man in the bullpen, a bulk guy. And I was sitting there, hold on a second. Like, Michael King constantly gives them 2+ innings. And if they wanted to, they could throw him 4 or 5 to save the pen. Like, he's good like that. King's good, man. He's a big game pitcher who gets it done the vast majority of the time. He's had a good year. So I tip my cap to those 3 guys. Wrap it up there with Mike King. And, Baltimore is up next. The next 4 games. It's a 4-game set at Yankee Stadium. And I'll say it again. All right, I'll say it one more time. If you want me feeling good about the Yankees, not okay. If you want me feeling good, I'm going to need to see some shit here. Do you want me feeling good, or do you want me feeling the same? If you want me feeling good about the Yankees, then sweep or take 3. If you want to settle and have this same feeling of mediocrity and love being average and losing and, be happy with your 2-2 record, have fun with that. But I'm sorry. It shouldn't come across as incredibly crazy to want the Yankees to show some dominance for a change. I mean, just think about how crazy this sounds. Like, I'm having a conversation right now about wanting the Yankees to very badly have a span where they win 3 out of 4 games. Like, it's incredibly hard to do. But that's how far this team has fallen to where that becomes this incredibly high feat. But, do you want to take second place in the division? Then show me. I'm sorry. Because right now, this whole get by, settle for 500 shit has the Yankees exactly where they are, which is 1.5 games away from being out of a playoff spot. Toronto's 1.5 back from them. You got LA 2, and then Boston 3.5 behind. That's where it has the Yankees. So, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm done with the settling shit. I still don't think it's acceptable for them, judge without judge, to play 500 ball and be like, oh yeah, they're getting by with it. No, that's not how this works. You still need to win baseball games, and playing 500 is not winning. When I say win, I mean win. This roster should not, I will say it again, they have no excuse to be this bad. They should be playing a lot better, but they're not. Because certain guys aren't playing on certain nights for whatever friggin' reason. Rizzo tonight. And guys who are supposed to hit are not hitting. They are not hitting. So, yeah, I'm excited for Rodon. But like, what? Instead of losing 5-2, we'll lose 2-1? I don't know. Like, I'm over it, man. I'm over it. Let's wrap this up with our trivia. Actually, we had a parlay. See if I can get that up. We had a parlay tonight. All right. Welcome to RJ's Parlay, where my degenerate self breaks down tonight's big parlay. If I miss, it's not surprising. If I hit, I'll probably lose it all tomorrow night. Because that's how this works. Welcome to RJ's Parlay. Now, on today's parlay, it was a 3-pick parlay worth plus 315. I have the Yankees money line. I have the alternate 5.5 runs in this game, and I had Cole for at least 6 strikeouts. I ended up going 0 for 3, so that's great. Neither of those 3 happened. The Yankees lost. The final score in that final game was, I guess I did hit that, the 6 runs, but Cole only had 5 strikeouts. So 1 for 3 in a parlay is not good enough because you got to go 100%, and I did not. So, just like I told you, not surprising that we missed. Let's wrap it up with our trivia question as soon as we get back from break. Stay with us. Episode 537 of the podcast, BD4. We'll be right back.
Studio 69 Productions is a production company that allows content creators of all genres to market their podcast or whatever project they're working on. It's an online platform that will promote your content no problem. All you have to do is get in touch with film director and podcast producer Leo Rodriguez from Say No More Podcast, and you're good to go. You can find him on Instagram at Studio 69NJ, Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Episode 537 of the podcast. Let's wrap it up with our trivia question. Let's go. So, for this episode 537 of the podcast, our NYY-NYK-MMA trivia question of the day is, on July 1st, 2004, against the Boston Red Sox, by God, which iconic moment went down in Yankees history? All right. On July 1st, 2004, against the Boston Red Sox, which iconic moment went down in Yankees history? All right, so one final time. On July 1st, 2004, against the Boston Red Sox, which iconic moment went down in Yankees history? It's not a very specific question, but if you know it, this is one that'll come easy to you. I'll put it that way. And that's it. We said we'd try to go under 30 minutes, and we ended up going 40 minutes. So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 537 of the podcast. Yeah, no, I don't feel confident in this Yankees team. Will they make the playoffs? They'll probably make the playoffs. But, I was, heavily leaning towards that 95-win season being still possible and second place being still possible. That's going to, these next 4 games are going to really depend. They're going to really depict where I stand. If the Yankees come out of these 4 games looking strong, and I told you what strong would mean for me, then I'll lean towards those 95 wins in second place as a possibility again. But if they come out of these 4 games with a split 1 win or less, God forbid, I'll probably be leaning more towards the, 85 to 88 win range in like third place again. Like this is gonna do a lot. This is gonna tell a lot. This will tell a lot about this Yankees team. So we'll see what happens. And they don't have Gerrit Cole pitching this series. They don't have Rodon back for this series. So we'll see what's up. That's it for this show. I appreciate you all stopping by. Episode 537 in the books. Thank you, and I'll see you later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you, and we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees, and go Knicks!